So this is the Wednesday weekly learning session. My name is Carlos Navia. I have been a bartender for 20 plus years in several states and 2 different countries. I have been training folks for local bartending school for about 8 years now. Started doing it when I lived in Florida, continued to do it since I moved back to California. I have not seen anyone in person since COVID began. It has been a lot of Zooming, a lot of stuff online, but I do this every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I also do one-on-ones over Zoom, and you might recognize me from some of the online videos that I taped here on the central coast of California where I live. So the other thing that I kind of want to mention, and I mentioned this a while ago too during the basketball playoffs, but people are acting weird. People have been stuck home too long, and they have forgot how to act when they're out in society. There's a lot of incidents happening in the NBA playoffs, and now in preseason football, there are just fights constantly in the stands. I grew up going to Raider games. That was pretty normal to have fights in the stands and have people throw stuff at the police as they broke them up. But I don't think that's normal or typical for most arenas and most football stadiums. So, they're talking about it a lot here in LA because there were some pretty serious fights, including one involving a woman hitting a man that, now we all have a camera in our pocket. So that's the other thing. These are all being filmed and put out there. So, just be aware. Things are still very weird. People are still kind of getting used to coming back into society and behaving around other people. So, we should be hyper aware and kind of paying attention to what people are doing and make sure that we're not having any problems and everybody's having a good time and being safe and, going home at the end of the night safely. So when we kind of talk about some of the trends that are going on, and some of this, relates to COVID and kind of the situation that we've all been in for the last, year and a half now. One of the trends and the coolest thing I think that we got going that's here to stay, and let's hope it's here to stay, is drinks to go. Because of the COVID regulations and bars being shut down, they started to allow us to sell drinks to go. And, so far it has not had any sort of, negative side effects of doing that. If we are able to keep it that way, and we live in a country where it only takes one person to screw something up for everybody, but if we can maintain and prove that we can handle this type of thing, drinks to go are going to be here for a long time. So I think it's awesome, as well as liquor being delivered to your house. If you guys don't know that, you can call Instacart or go online, get Instacart, and just have them bring booze and beer and stuff to your house and check your ID and give it to you right there, which is very nice for everybody that is, stuck home on quarantine, like my little brother is now. I told him, hey, don't worry, you can still get booze delivered to the house, even though you're quarantined in the garage. So I think it's an awesome, awesome thing that we've got going now. And, try to look for, the bright side of things. It's one of the good things that come out of COVID that we have this. Some of the ideas that I saw people doing and stuff like this as well that I've kind of done before is pre-batching cocktails as well. And I've pre-batched cocktails and put them in, the white store and pour containers for different situations. Wedding party where they have a specialty cocktail or 2 specialty cocktails that I know they're all coming in at once. And that's one of the dynamics of working a wedding, is that as soon as the wedding's over, all 200 or 300 people walk straight to the bar, and you get hit with one massive wave of people. So, if they had a specialty cocktail or something like that they were offering to their guest at that wedding, I could pre-patch it in the speed force. Then I just got to grab my glass of ice, pour it over the ice, garnish it, put a straw in it, serve it to them, and I can do it very, very fast. But I was looking online today and last night, and I saw that, there were bars doing that, but actually bottling it or putting it in some kind of container with a lid so that people could have the pre-batched cocktail themselves, take it back to their house, get their own cup of ice, and just pour it over the cup and have that cocktail like it was made in the bar right there at home with them. So I thought that was a great, great idea as well. When we're talking about doing drinks to go, offering pre-batched cocktails that someone can take home. Mexican place can offer you some pre-batched margaritas. You go home, you put some salt on the rim, you put some ice in the glass, bam, it's ready to go, and you've got it right there. The other kind of thing that's, kind of gotten big, and I'll show a picture right here too, because people couldn't go out to bars and they are stuck at home, you get these cocktails made in the can and stuff like this. This is a company called Cutwater, which is actually out here in California in San Diego. Bloody Mary, gin and tonic, rum and Coke, I think they've got a couple dozen different flavors actually now of cocktails in a can. During the pandemic, you could have this delivered to your house. You have it right there. You don't have to worry about going to the bar and getting it. However, I don't think that anything in the can, it's kind of a new trend, but it's really not a new idea. There's a company called Club that's been making mixed drinks in the can for probably 30 years, because I know they had them when I was in high school in the 80s and early 90s. So it's not a new idea, but it's really taking off. The cocktails in a can, and I think especially during the pandemic when people are staying at home and drinking at home, not to mention the fact that when no one's going to work, a lot of us found out that you can get up on a Wednesday and have cocktails that you never got to do, when you worked a 9-to-5 job. So, they're starting to drink earlier in the day as well. So, these aren't going away. It's a big trend, the canned cocktails. Of course, I don't think they're ever going to be as good as, anything that's made for you in the bar, or definitely not something that you're batching up fresh for people to take home with them. But, you're definitely going to see them around, and they're not going anywhere. The other kind of thing the pandemic has pushed people to do, not being able to go to bars, is starting to build their home bar and learning how to mix drinks at home and make their own drinks at home. This lends to a bunch of different, type of ideas and different stuff going around and people coming up with different ideas. But, I still think it's, being at the bar is more than just mixing that drink. It is the whole ambiance. It is the whole atmosphere. It is being out. It is socializing. Having a party over Zoom and everybody talking over Zoom and drinking at home is not the same as being there in person, and having that live interaction with other people. So even though they can make a lot of drinks at home, it's not stopping people from heading back out to the bars now that they're open again and we can go out and do things. And that's it. People are ready to go out and they're ready to have some fun. And, they're ready to go out and get some more elaborate drinks and some funner drinks that are not just your normal vodka tonic, whiskey and Coke or something like that, because they can do that at home. And they probably have been doing that at home for the last, 16 months. So they're going to want to go out and see something fun, something exotic, something different, something weird. And there's a bunch of new ideas, that are kind of coming out as far as that, and different concoctions and liquors and stuff that we're using. The other thing that's kind of started to make a comeback is flair bartending. Cocktail I talked about a couple of weeks ago in the 80s really kind of put it out there, made flair bartending a big thing and a big attraction. But now we have TikTok, and people are making flair bartending videos on TikTok that are becoming very popular and coming up with new moves and new tricks and stuff like that. So I'll show you this picture. You can find these, if I have this picture, you can find these guys online. This is just a flair practice bottle. It's just weighted like a regular liquor bottle so that you can spin it, flip it, have the weight. It's not going to break. It's not going to hurt anything. If you ever want to learn flair bartending, these are awesome to practice with and have around. You can find tons of different moves and stuff that people are doing on TikTok, YouTube, and stuff like that. Has tons of, videos that will show you different tricks and how to do different tricks. If you really don't feel like spending the money on a flair bottle, get a whole liquor bottle from a bar, take it and wrap the whole thing in duct tape, and just put a nice thick layer of duct tape over the bottle. Then when you drop it, it'll hit on the duct tape. It'll keep it from breaking. Should it actually break, don't worry, the glass isn't going anywhere. It's going to stick there in the duct tape, so you're not going to create a big mess and splatter the glass everywhere. So you can do that with just any bottle, duct tape it up. You've now made a flair practice training bottle. Fair warning though, you do shoot water and stuff all over. After watching Cocktail, here 31 years later, I realized a lot of the bottles that they were using, I am too, Monty, don't worry about it. Yes. And it's kind of funny with the whole flair thing. Like, I've been to bars in Vegas where they do crazy stuff. The guy put a spear in his mouth, took 5 cherries, threw them up at one time, and caught all 5 on the spear. But I really wonder how much money they're actually making when they take so long to make each drink. Because I worked at places where it's just turn and burn. It's fast as you can put it in the cup and take people's money. I mean, we worked off the volume. So I never got a chance to kind of talk to the guys because, of course, they were busy lighting stuff on fire and doing crazy stuff. But yeah, I start to really wonder how much money are people really tipping them that much more for the show, or are they still just getting, a 20% tip and not making drinks very fast? But duct tape on a bottle, it does work. You will splatter stuff everywhere. Like I said, it's kind of funny to watch Cocktail again. How many times Tom Cruise is holding an empty bottle because it's upside down. There's nothing coming out of it. So it does create a mess, but you can have some fun and learn a bunch of new things and a bunch of new moves that people are trying on TikTok now. Yeah, exactly. In a cruise ship situation like that, where they've got you, they have a finite amount of people that are coming on the ship, and stuff like that. So weird thing about cruise ships is they're moving. I've seen some really cool shows and stuff on cruise ships where it's like, how can you have like acrobats when the whole darn, and don't call it a boat, they get all pissy about that, when the whole darn ship is moving, but bless their hearts, they managed to pull it off in that scenario. But yeah, if you've got the free time, you're at home, grab a bottle, grab some duct tape, make yourself a practice bottle, have some fun, put yourself on TikTok, get yourself out there. And a lot of people, that weren't at home making their own home bar or trying to make their own cocktails, they're going to come back with a passion for classic cocktails. The people that have been stuck on beer and wine or, really simple cocktails that they can make at home, they're going to come back to the bar. They're going to want those old classics that they've missed and they've not been able to get for the last year and a half. So we're all going to see a trend in classic cocktails coming back. And yeah, the home bartender leads to more experimentation. And, it's kind of changing the taste to where we're putting things in cocktails now that we really never considered or never thought we could do with cocktails. So it is nice to experiment. You're always welcome to try anything. There's no law that says you can't make up a drink, you can't take a drink, put a new spin on it, and do it your way. The other thing you're kind of going to notice is kind of the digital platform and the way stuff is being digitized. I was reading an article today that was talking about, paper bar menus are going to be a thing of the past, that they're going to be gone. And I'm pretty sure everybody has seen by now a restaurant where you go and you take a picture of the little symbol and the menu comes up on your phone instead of them having a physical menu. And it's perfect because we don't want to touch those menus in COVID because they might have COVID on them and they don't want you putting COVID on their stuff or giving you stuff with COVID on it. So, that's really going to become a trend, I think, or some people are predicting, I should say, of, digital menus and stuff like that the people can just access on their phone, tell you what they want, or even, place a drink order through an app or something like that. Good thing about them, it's easy to change a bar menu if you've got it like that. If I've printed up thousands of paper bar menus, I can't just decide, oh, I want to change 2 drinks on there because I have thousands of paper bar menus sitting around. But with the digital menu, bam, it's that easy. We can change it every week. We can put something out new all the time. Even day to day, we could change different things and put different things out there. The other thing it's easy to do too is the 86 stuff on there. We can 86 stuff in most POS systems pretty easily if you got a manager that's on top of stuff and can do it. But, those, things like that will allow us to take a drink out. People won't see it. They won't be able to order it. And it'll kind of be nice. Now, how to approach this part. In great respect to the movie Terminator, I started to wonder, what if they just replaced us all with robots? Is it possible to where we can just have robot bartenders? And it's a thing. And I saw this in Vegas earlier this year. So I'm gonna play this little video. Oh, if it plays for me. Come on, YouTube. Oh, it's gonna give me an advertisement first here. Sorry, I thought I had it set up properly. Now we have to learn about the latest Marvel. All right. So check these guys out. This is a bar at Planet Hollywood in Las Vegas. I got all the liquors there on the ceiling with little corks on it that poured out. Yes. It's real Caribbean. There's your cocktail. And it's got a little automated thing that pushes your drink out to you. Boop, there you go. Let me stop it. Sorry, it's still playing.
You lose the ability to chat with the person, though, and that's what a lot of people like about a bartender is just to chat sometimes.
Exactly. You know what? I was in Vegas earlier this year, and one of my friends that I talk about sometimes works at Planet Hollywood. So I happened to walk by that, and I thought it was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Okay. Because first of all, it doesn't even look like they're making great drinks. There's only a little bit of ice in there. You're in the middle of the desert in Las Vegas. Like, it doesn't even look like the cocktails are coming out that great. But that's it. You know, you want to be able to talk to someone. You want to be able to ask some questions. And all there is in this bar are little podiums with touch screens. And you sit there and people don't talk to each other. They just push it in and they push the button and they order drinks and then they walk up and they get it from the bar from this machine. And I'm guessing, you know, pay with their ATM card or their Apple Pay or whatever they pay with it. And it's the opposite of what we want. You know, the guy I worked for in Scottsdale, there's a thing called NTN. There's these little blue trivia boxes and people sit in sports bars and questions come up and they answer questions that come up and basically you're playing against everybody who has one in the bar in the entire world. Okay. Guy I worked for in Scottsdale would not have one of those. He hated it. He detested it. And I asked him one day and he said, because it is encouraging people not to react with other people. You're encouraging people to sit at a bar with a little blue box staring into this little blue box instead of talking to the people that are sitting around them at the bar. And that is not what we do. This is taking it out completely. You know, taking out the complete everything about the socialization and the talking and the camaraderie, you know, and the hanging out in bars. So they're never going to replace us. Okay, you still need a person back there to talk to. We'll never be replaced by robots. It's fine. It's fun if you want to go to Vegas and do something cool, but it's just not the same. And I don't think we have anything to fear. Other thing, two things I could do: a robot can't bartend and weld. Is how I figured out, or what they taught me in high school. So no, don't worry about the robots coming and becoming sentient and the Terminator coming to life in the bar. But I thought those were cool. I thought I'd show to everybody because I had kind of seen them earlier this year and I thought they were funny. What's also kind of becoming a trend, the other thing I was kind of reading up on today is no alcohol and low alcohol cocktails. And it started to become more of a trend because people aren't going to work anymore and they can start drinking earlier in the day. And having a low, you know, alcohol cocktail that's going to keep you a little sharper and allow you to still have a productive day has become something very popular. I kind of think that it's a lot of people sitting at home working on Zoom anyway. And, you know, here's the thing. I can't smell your breath over Zoom, but I've bartended for a long time. I can tell if you've been drinking. Okay. Like, I can see the difference. I can tell what's going on. I see what you're doing. I see what's happening. So I think a lot of people are kind of getting into that, you know, drinking some low alcohol cocktails or even no alcohol cocktails so that they can still, you know, enjoy their cocktail and, you know, stay sober, stay productive. I got a picture. I didn't even actually realize that this was a thing, but went out looking for stuff today. And this is a whole line here of alcohols that they make, well, with no alcohol. They're spirits that don't have alcohol in them. And it's Liars is the brand. Yeah, they make gin, they make, you know, different kinds of stuff. And it's kind of becoming a trend and taking off right now. So it is another trend. Low alcohol, no alcohol cocktails are becoming a thing. They are out there and, you know, they are probably going to be around for a while as well. You know, the other thing kind of in that, so healthier choices and stuff like that, is we're seeing some different type of brew stuff. Like, it's become very popular where I live is hard kombucha. I'm not really even sure what kombucha is. I know it's supposed to be healthy. It's supposed to be good for you, but we're starting to see some different stuff come out like that as well with alcohol in it. And that is very popular where I live out here in trendy California. The other thing I read, and I think this is great because I keep referring to my area out here as my tiki bar here at my house, but it's no more. So the term tiki bar is gone. We are no longer calling them tiki bars. Apparently there's some bad connotations in that, and it is kind of offensive to Polynesian people, I guess, is the idea. So we no longer have tiki bars. We have tropical bars and nautical themed bars, okay? So I have to now adjust myself because I say it a lot. I am now in my outside tropical bar here in my backyard. Tiki bars are gone. They're not coming back. Yeah, the other thing, and I've kind of talked about this one before, sustainability is a big word. It's a big hot button word kind of in a lot of things right now and in a lot of different places. They've noticed in the pandemic that there's a rise of box wine consumption, which is actually, easier on the environment and easier when it comes to recycling. What's also, I live in wine country in California, and I was very surprised to see that a lot of these places are also putting wine in cans now. And you can buy very good wine in a can or in a box or with screw off tops too. That's become a thing as well. You can get good wines with screw off tops. So it is kind of changing, the landscape of the way we do things. And it's really becoming a big thing with some different companies. These are all the rage now. These ball aluminum cups. Whoops. So it looks like a solo cup. It acts like a solo cup, but it's made of aluminum. It can be reused. It can be recycled just like an aluminum can. I don't think most people realize that solo cups go into landfills. They are not recycled, even if you throw them in the recycling bin. So these cups will cut down on millions and millions of solo cups going into landfills every year. I first saw them last year. They were used in a festival in Texas. And, it was hundreds of thousands of plastic cups that they were going to save by using those at their festival and having people put them in the recycling bin. And while I'm kind of on that topic, and if I got the right picture, this is stuff that can go in the recycling bin. Paper, plastic, metal, glass. I think it's funny because they put clean, empty, unbagged, but the pictures they show have liquid in them. They have to be empty, has to be clean stuff. Metal and glass, tinfoil, stuff like that. None of this stuff on the left side can go in there. No drink pouches, no wrappers or anything from food, no food containers, nothing that has food in it, nothing that's wet, no wet paper, anything like that cannot go in the recycle bin. And once again, these plastic to-go things, your solo cups, your little portion cups, stuff like that, anything styrofoam, grocery bags aren't going to be recycled, and food waste or anything with liquids in it's not going to be recycled. Even if you're throwing that stuff in the recycle bin, it's going to go into a landfill. It is not getting recycled. So, the aluminum cups are a very cool thing. I talked about them last year. I see them everywhere where I live now. Every grocery store, liquor store, every place like that is carrying them. Cool. You can reuse them, recycle them like cans. Very cool. The other thing, company DiGiorno kind of jumping on board with that. And I haven't seen this guy yet, but it's supposed to be coming out this year. So I'm waiting to see it in person, see it in my town. And this is, as I switched the wrong picture. All right, where is it? I had the picture I wanted, and now I don't have the picture I wanted. Come on, big guy. It switched pictures on me. I had it up there for a second. So I'm gonna find that picture. But it's a new bottle being made by DiGiorno. They're distributors that handle Johnny Walker, Ron Zacapa, No Let's Gin, who makes Kettle One and things like that. And they have now made this bottle. Let's try see if I can get it up again. Which is completely made of paper and recyclable. So if I can bring up the right picture this time. So this is the new Johnny Walker Black bottle. It is made 100% of paper. It is completely recyclable. I have not seen it in the stores yet, and I'm dying to find it because my wife drinks Johnny Walker Black Label, and I am very curious to know if it tastes different than the one that comes in a glass bottle. Like, does this paper bottle affect the taste of the whiskey that's inside of it? But very cool thing now, and what they're doing as far as sustainability and that kind of trend that they're moving, it even goes as deep as these liquor companies and how they're bottling the product and putting their product out in containers. Out into the world. So sustainability, big thing. Recycle, do your part in it. That's what we can do as bartenders. Gin's made a huge comeback. Vodka kicked its butt for a long time, but gins are making a comeback. Tequila is always popular, but very much becoming popular with a lot of celebrities, sponsoring their own tequila brands or having their own tequila brands. Cognac is starting to make kind of a comeback as well. I think it got big in the 90s. A lot of rappers were into it and became kind of a big and trendy thing. It started to die off a little bit, but it is making a comeback. And I feel like we say this every year, that this is the year rum makes its big comeback. And it's slowly creeping up. It's slowly working its way kind of back into the fray and, back into the mainstream. But, we are seeing an increase in rum. A lot of people are predicting a big jump in rum this year, but we'll kind of see where it goes and see where the trends are by the end of the year. But another thing that's getting popular is just using herbs and roots and stuff like that, and stuff that people wouldn't, traditionally associate with cocktails. Yeah, we've used mint for a long time, making mint juleps and mojitos, but now things like basil and thyme and, chilies are becoming a big thing now too, making spicy cocktails. Roots, stuff that grows under the ground and stuff like that are being used as well. And it's kind of changed, things in the sense that, cocktails for a long time were stuck in the category of sweet or sour and not a lot else to them, where you can make savory cocktails and you can create different flavors and use these kind of herbs and roots and things like that to flavor a cocktail. So that is becoming a big trend now too. Anything you find in your garden can really be used for it. And the last thing I kind of ran into today that I found was very curious was pop-up bars. And I was not aware of this, that there is kind of a trend of a pop-up bar where someone will put up a bar for a week or two and that's it. And then it's gone and they just come and go. I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know it was out there, but as I looked into it today, it is becoming kind of a popular trend. And places are doing it. It's usually going to be associated with a place that already has a liquor license, has something going on. So it's not just an independent, place popping up, because that would create a lot of legal problems and logistical problems. But, when a place wants to try a new concept, they may block off a patio or something, open a little pop-up bar, try a concept for a week or two and see how it goes. The other kind of idea is that they're themed. Some pop up for 2 weeks as the beginning of a new season of a TV show starts or something like that. Or when a new movie is coming out, they'll put the pop-up bar up for 2 weeks that relates to that movie and is themed for that movie. And people are going to come hang out there till the premiere of the movie. Bam, then they pack it up, put it away. Maybe a month or two down the line, we pop it back up, we try something else. So I thought it was very cool, and kind of very curious. I know there are mobile bar services here where I live, where you can just pay them to come bring everything to your house and serve liquor at your house. And they'll bring the bars, they'll bring everything with you. It's catering. It's kind of like doing banquets, but I'm very curious because I live close enough to LA, and I'm very curious to see if I can find out one of these pop-up bars or pop-up places that is going down next time I'm down in there. Because I think part of the thing and part of where it's appealing to the younger crowd is that it's a limited engagement and you've got to hear about it kind of through social media or through the wind, So boom, they're going to open this place up for a week. Now it's the trendy thing to do. Man, we've got to go there. We've only got a week to do it. And you put it on social media and you get a lot of buzz, you get a lot of attention, and then you pack it down before the buzz dies and the attention goes someplace else and you come up with another concept. So I kind of thought that was cool. And I thought that was neat. Now, I was kind of looking at popular trends and different things, and if my phone's going to cooperate with me and let me scroll down here. And I found a website called Drink Lab, and they had done a survey this year, and they were looking for the most popular drinks in the world. So they did a survey of bars and bar owners and bartenders all the way around the world to find out what are the top 30 cocktails being served in 2021 in bars across the world. So let me get some water real quick. So the top 10 is a lot of old favorites. Old fashioned, number one, Negroni, daiquiri, dry martini, margarita, espresso martini, whiskey sour, Manhattan, Aperol spritzer, and mojito. So nothing too weird, nothing too strange in there, pretty typical stuff. But when we get into the top 20 to the next 10, I found some I wasn't familiar with. And something I just didn't, I've heard before. I didn't know the recipe off the top of my head. So I decided to look through some of these and see if I could find anything interesting. So starting as number 11, Bloody Mary, Gimlet number 12, which I'm surprised the popularity has not waned. Simply roses, lime juice, and ginger vodka. You got your Gimlet. If you wanted to do it handcrafted, you could do it with your just simple syrup, and fresh lime juice. But really easy drink, really simple drink, 12th most popular in the world. Moscow Mule, I think we all know that one. Number 14, penicillin. And I wasn't familiar with this one, but we're gonna give it a go, and we're gonna do a little demonstration of that one here in just a second. So 15, dark and stormy, which to the best of my knowledge predated the Moscow Mule, which is, you know, dark rum, aged rum, lime, and ginger beer. It's Gosling's, which makes a specific rum. Gosling's Black Seal is what it's traditionally supposed to be. And Gosling's makes its own ginger beer that's supposed to go with it for making the dark and stormy. But really easy to do. You're just doing a Moscow Mule kind of with your dark rum on the rocks. Really easy, really refreshing for summer. The one after it, Corpse Reviver. And of course, I had to look and see what that is. And we're going to go through that. We'll see if we can do a little Corpse Reviver as well. This one looked cool. Royal Clover, the next one on the list, number 17. What is it called? Clover Club, or Royal Clover Club cocktail. So gin, 2 bar spoons full of grenadine, some lemon juice and an egg white. Shake it up, pour it into you know, a cocktail glass, a coupe glass, or a martini glass with that nice frothy egg white head on there. It has a nice, cool kind of purple color to it. Boulevardier is number 18. And I am familiar with this one, so we'll give that one a try too. We'll make a little Boulevardier as well. Sazerac coming in at number 20. Brandy or rye. And, you know, it's funny, I talk about it a lot. There's a lot of drinks that can be whiskey or can be brandy. They are very similar spirits. They have a similar taste to them. You see a lot of crossover in that. This is Demerara syrup, which is like a sugar syrup, 10 dashes of bitters. And then the trick with the Sazerac, since we have real absinthe now, is to rinse your glass in a little bit of absinthe, pour it out before you shake the cocktail, pour it into there, give it its lemon twist. I had forgotten about this one, and I don't see it around anymore because I don't see Pisco around a lot. Pisco Sour. Pisco is a South American brandy. It's made in Peru and Chile, same place they grow, you know, in where they got vineyards and they grow grapes down there. Pisco, lemon juice, simple syrup, egg whites, just done up like a traditional whiskey sour would be with the sugar and the lemon and the egg whites. And once again, if you're doing anything with egg whites, and pray you don't have to, it's not one of my favorite things to do. Doing anything with egg whites, give it a dry shake first. I'm going to shake it without ice, and I'm going to let that egg white get nice and frothy in there before I then come back, add ice to my mixing tin, and give it another shake to chill and dilute it from there. This one I thought was cool. I'll see if I can pronounce it right because I know it's got a Frenchy sounding name. VUCAR is a New Orleans drink. That came in at number 21, I think. Or did I go too far? Come on, app. Work with me. Well, French 79 5 was number 21. I've talked about that before. Palomas are very popular as well. Pisco Sour, and the VUCAR comes from New Orleans, kind of a take on a Manhattan's. It uses both whiskey and brandy. So you're going to use whiskey, you're going to use cognac, you're going to use your sweet vermouth, some bitters, and a spoonful of Benedictine, which is a European herbal liqueur. And you know, you kind of get a lot of those that they say from Europe that are specialty liqueurs or herbal liqueurs. You know, just being called that because we don't have anything that we can directly compare them to. I can't say it tastes like this or it tastes like that. It tastes like what it tastes like because it's a special combination of herbs. Americano, which is a really easy one too. Just Campari, sweet vermouth, and soda water. You put an orange on there. Really easy to do. Amaretto sour, rum old fashioned. It says gin fizz here, but when I looked it up on their menu, gin, lemon juice, simple syrup, and soda water, which is basically a Tom Collins. Simple syrup and lemon juice is our sweet and sour mix. You're just making it by hand. So that is in essence a Tom Collins, a Bramble, which I'm going to talk about in a second, and a Brandy Cresta, which I think our book says line the whole glass with an orange peel for the Cresta. But brandy, cherry liqueur, triple sec, lemon juice, dash of Angostura, and a gas of Pissance bitters on the rocks in a wine glass with a lemon twist is your Cresta, as they describe it here in this one. So let's take a look at some of these and see if we can have a little fun with some of these here. So the penicillin, I'm going to grab my mixing tin here. And what we're going to start with is just some, what did I do with that? Let's start with some pieces of ginger I have sliced here. I'm going to throw the ginger in here into my mixing tin. Then I'm going to come back with some honey simple syrup. Just going to put about 3/4 of an ounce of this honey simple syrup in here. Just like that. bottle back. And I'm going to take my muddle and I'm going to kind of work it in there. Just trying to release the flavor from the ginger. And I'm going to give it a good mash. And I am going to come back and double strain this out. So I'm not worried if I break it up a little bit. I just want to give it a good mash in there. Come back to my ice. Throw some ice in here. Now I'm going to do 1/2 ounce of fresh lemon juice. And, you know, as a guideline, 1/2 a lemon, 1/2 a lime is about 1/2 ounce. And if you are squeezing fresh fruit in a squeezer like this, take the little nubs, take the little ends off of the fruit. If you leave that little nub on there, sometimes when you push this down, it catches it, it folds the piece of fruit in half. You don't end up getting a good squeeze. When I have a flat surface for this to come down onto, boom, I'll get a nice good squeeze. I'll get my 1/2 ounce of fresh lemon juice into my drink there. Nice. That's right. And I'll try to get the lemon out of my squeezer. So I've got that stuff in there. I'm going to come back and put in 2 ounces here of my faux scotch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. And we're going to give it a nice shake. And we're going to smile. It's easy work, smile. You know, it's not so much about smiling, more about being engaged with everybody at the bar. So I give it a good shake up. Pop this off. I'm back with it here. Where is my scooper? And I'll come back and double strain it here over some fresh ice. Double strainer. Just like that. A little more drips out of there. Cool. Boom. I'm going to garnish it with a little piece of ginger here like that. I'm going to put it over the side. Boom. Napkin. Bam. And that is your penicillin. Very cool. Kind of sweet. A little bit of the honey, simple syrup, ginger taste with your scotch and your lemon juice. Very cool drink. I kind of like that one as well. The Corpse Reviver. I'm just going to rinse this stuff out real quick. So when we do this one, we're going to do this one up like a martini. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to chill out my martini glass. Just put some ice in there, let my glass chill, put a little water in there. Ooh. Like that, set it off to the side, let that chill while I'm making my drink. So my ice in my tin. Now this one calls for brandy. This is going to look close enough to brandy. And once again, none of it's real alcohol. I'm going to go ahead and do my 1.5 ounces of that. I'm going to do 2 ounces actually of that. And it says to do 1/2 ounce of bitters. So I'm going to go ahead and measure out 1/2 ounce of bitters here. It's just going to take me just a second to get it in here. Boom. There we go. Into there. And we would do 1 ounce of white creme de menthe. So I've got something clear that's going to replicate my 1 ounce of white creme de menthe here. And we're just going to give this one a nice stir. And, you know, 9 or 10 stirs is good. Once again, this is the side intended, but if I use this side, will it still stir the cocktail? Yes, it'll still stir the cocktail just fine. So I give it a nice stir. Come back, I'm going to throw my water away here. Wipe off my bar here. And out. Pour out my Corpse Reviver. Nice, just like that. And a little more drop there. Yeah, and that's it. That's your Corpse Reviver right there. Ready to go, bring you back to life. So let's see what else we got here that could be fun. Boulevardier, I can do that one as well. We'll do that one on the rocks again. So let me get some ice in my mixing tin. Now, Boulevardier, is basically your Negroni, but we're going to use whiskey instead of gin in it. So, just like with any kind of martini Manhattan style drink, I usually ask the people what kind of liquor they want to go in it. So this time we're just going to do an ounce of this Jack Daniels. Oh, this want to be Jack Daniels. So that would be our whiskey here. I have some stuff that looks like Campari here. We're going to do an ounce of that. And I'm going to do an ounce of what I have here that looks like sweet vermouth. Oops, put it in there. I'm going to do that one up. I should have chilled my glass. I forgot to chill my glass. Forgot I was doing this one up. I got my chilled glass over here. We're good to go on that. It'll chill in just a second. Boom. Go ahead, grab my mixing tin. Boom, give it a good shake. Get that all nice and mixed up there. Get that good and shaken up, nice and hard. Come back, pop that off. Glass. Boom. Nice chilled glass, and pour my Boulevardier into my glass. Stuff out of there. One more twist, get it all out of there. Bam. Drop stuff. We're going to finish that off with a nice orange twist, taking the outside of the peel all the way around. Twist it nicely over the top. Boom. Get the spritz in there, drop it in. We've got our Boulevardier. So I'm stacking them up over here. Someone needs to come drink all these fake cocktails. I need some fake people to drink my fake cocktails. So we'll do one more. The other one I kind of really liked here was the Bramble, which I thought was very cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it in a mixing tin like this. Got some more ice. So if I did 1.5 ounces of gin, what do I got that looks like gin? This will do. 4, 5, 6. And we're going to do 1 ounce of lemon juice. So I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 lemon halves here and squeeze these in there. Get all that nice juice in there. There we go. Nice. Now we're going to grab our simple syrup. We'll do 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. Once again, we're going to grab this guy, shake him up nice and good, give it a nice shake. I've been watching Japanese bartenders. They do it like this. Also works, also good, just as long as you're not doing it towards the customer so you don't hit any customers. Give it a nice shake, give it a nice mix. Come back with my fresh cup of ice here. I'm going to strain this out. And I'm going to come back with raspberry liqueur, and we're just going to do a topper or a floater. So we do our 1/2 ounce topper or floater, 2 circles around the top. 1, 2 to get that nice floater in there. Finish it off with a nice lemon twist. Boom, into my glass. And there is your gin Bramble all ready to go. So are there any questions about anything talked about today or any other topic?
So you said earlier that you asked the person whether they wanted gin or whatever it was too. And I've had that many times. People have asked me for specifics as far as how they want their drink. I don't know how you would ever use a robot to be able to do that stuff.
I think like they can actually put in the different settings and stuff. I think you can actually just make up your own drink. The Royal Caribbean has them too. I've seen it in the commercial. I haven't been on Royal Caribbean in a long time. I used to go on Royal Caribbean a lot when I used to work at my parents' travel agency, and you got to take free trip. Well, they were free to an extent. Like, here's the thing. Here's what they don't tell you. Like, we sell 25 people. I get a free cabin. Okay, now I got 25 people on the boat coming up and asking me for stuff all day long. I'm not really on vacation. I'm now the tour guide for 25 people. That's the part you don't get. It's the drawback of it, but that's, it's a fun thing. That's all it is. It looks cool, just like Vegas. Royal Caribbean tries to bring that same kind of atmosphere to their cruise ships, whatever's new, whatever's trendy. Just keep the people happy. You're on the boat, don't call it a boat. You're on the ship for so many days. You got to find things to do, and you got to have constant activities to keep them busy. Here's what I learned.
I've not been on Royal Caribbean, but I've been on whatever it is, Celebrity and Princess and stuff. The boats are just too big. It's just a circus anymore.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because it used to be a different thing. Like cruise ships used to be to where you spent a week on a cruise ship, you could meet everybody on the cruise ship because there's only 1,000 people. Like you'd meet people, you'd start to form relationships with people. I've been on a Carnival cruise ship that was 3,500 passengers. And I made a friend on the first day and never saw that person. Like I had a cool conversation with the guy at a bar the first day and I never saw that guy again because it was just huge. It was like this giant city. Yeah. And they've taken all kind of the intimacy out of it, by making it one big mall.
Well, they make it entertainment capital with slides and climbing walls and shopping and everything else.
And an ice skating rink and, all this other stuff. It used to just be the bar and you'd have some bingo during the day and that would be about it. And then you ate dinner and you went to the show, whatever. Is it a magician? Is it a comedian? Is it acrobat? They're doing something tonight. They're singing and dancing or something, that's it. That was the kind of the experience. Now it's what restaurant do we want to eat at? Or do you want to go rock climbing or ice skating today? So
the best one we went on was one of the Viking river cruises because they limited it to 180. You got to know people. It was relaxing. That was the best trip.
I know the ones you're talking about. Yeah, that's still kind of the way to do it. I got lucky when I went to Brazil. I spent 2.5 weeks on a cruise ship in Brazil, but it was an older cruise ship. It only had, I think, 1,200 people on it. You got to meet people. I ended up meeting a girl from New Orleans and going to New Orleans to visit her twice a year for the next 5 years because I met her on this cruise ship. And that's how I know a lot of crap about the French Quarter. I had the benefit of never going there as a tourist. First time I went there, I was shown around by locals and I got to see the local side of it. It was fun. Here's what I'll tell you. I have a funny story about cruise ships. Here's how I found out at 12 years old who the Friends of Bill W are. And for anybody who doesn't know out there, the Friends of Bill W is code for Alcoholic Anonymous meeting because they don't want to just announce Alcoholic Anonymous meeting. So you get on the cruise ship and every day under your door early in the morning, they slip you a little itinerary. And every day there would be a meeting of the Friends of Bill W. And I'm like, who's this Bill W guy where he's got all his friends on this cruise ship and he's having a good time, but I didn't think much of it. Second cruise I went on, what are the chances? I'm on a ship with Bill W yet again, and he's having a party every morning. So third time, I'm like, okay, this is not coincidence. This Bill W guy is stalking me, apparently. I'm going to find out. So I'm 12 years old. It's 7 a.m. I just come strolling into this AA meeting. They're like, can we help you? I'm like, oh, I'm a friend of Bill's. Because I had no idea what it was. No, me and Bill go way back. And I'm grabbing a donut. And then finally one of them had to explain to me, no, we do this to not embarrass people. It's a tough time for alcoholics being on the cruise ship, but everybody's drinking. So we all get together in the morning to kind of support each other, but we don't want to just announce it to the whole ship. Hey, all the drunks are meeting at 8 a.m. So if you all ever see Friends of Bill W, that's how I found out who Bill W was at 12 years old, that's code for AA on a cruise ship. What are you going to do? Any other questions about anything else? All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Monty, for showing up. Have a great time in Ireland. I will be in Hawaii next Wednesday. I will not be here. We will have a fill-in, but I will be back in 2 weeks. So I think Patricia is filling in and hopefully has a great lesson next week. It's my anniversary, so I cannot do anything on my anniversary but spend time with my wife if I want to remain married, which I do because I love my wife very much. So everybody have a good week. I will see you in 2 weeks. I'll see you in 3 weeks.
I sent you a message about a fish. You got to try that fish when you're there. Take your wife out to dinner. She likes fish.
She loves fish and she hates it that you can't get the fish she likes from the Caribbean here in California. So I will
that'll pock 'em.
I'm going to put it in my phone.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
It's very seasonal. They don't export it. It's only local to Hawaii. That's why it's hard to get.
Well, we're actually going to go out there. Like, she has a cousin that stays there. So one day we're going to fly from Waikiki over to Oahu, or wait, am I getting mixed up? Wherever Hilo is, and go spend the day there. So maybe they can hook us up to a good place to get some of the local stuff there.
Love the
pocket fish. There it is. Yeah. I hate doing stuff like a tourist. I got to have a local show me around. This is where to go. This is what to do. Because I'm just spoiled that way. Yes. Thank you,
right.
Monty. I'll definitely try that out because my wife loves fish. And that's the biggest thing she's looking forward to, is getting different fish there than we get here. In California.
Best thing in the world. All right. Have a good time.
All right. You too. See you in a couple weeks. All right. Bye. Have a great day.